Hey guys, this is Marco. If you're somebody that's looking to communicate better for your relationships, for work, or simply in small talk in general to become better at it, in this video we're going to look at how to improve your communication skills. Also, I'm always making videos about entrepreneurship or branding, so if you are interested in those topics, make sure to give us a like and subscribe so you can look at more videos like these. Active listening. I learned a while ago that the best way to serve someone is to listen to them. If you're trying to help somebody in whatever it is that they're trying to tell you, the easiest way to help them is to listen, to simply stop talking and listen to what they're saying to you. More often than not, if you just keep talking and asking questions immediately, butting in and everything, it's gonna not give you a clear message, and it's also gonna make the other person not feel heard, which can cause them to feel like you're not respecting them, you don't care about their emotions, you don't care about their message, and worst of all, that you don't care about them. So it's extremely important to just, in other words, shut your trap and you just listen. Giving them engaging follow-up questions like, oh, how did that make you feel? Oh, how'd you figure that out? Oh, what caused you to move? And this will cause them to open up more and more to you. And the more that they open to you, the more comfortable they're gonna feel and more communication is gonna come out. Eventually, they're gonna feel very good that you listen to them, that they're gonna ask you in return so that you will open up. Another very interesting tool that I've learned from the book, Never Split the Difference, which is written by an expert hostage negotiator for the FBI, Chris Voss, where he explains that the best way to make somebody feel that you empathize with what they're saying is to mirror them. So mirroring them could be something like when somebody says, oh, I really love living in New York, but I had to move. And to that you can answer, oh, you really love living in New York, but you had to move? Just simply like that. As cheesy as it sounds, and it's gonna feel weird to say it, but that causes them to be like, yeah, I loved it there, but I just had to look for other options for work and so on, and they open up more to you because it makes them feel like you're respecting what they're saying, that you listened, that you paid enough attention to actually repeat the message back to them. So they really appreciate that. Especially your boss at work, especially in a relationship. One of the best ways to make somebody feel like they're appreciated is to mirror them. Generally, don't do it, like crazy, but the 3 or 2 last words of a sentence that somebody says, just repeat it back to them and they'll open up more to you. So leave me a comment if that's worked for you after this video. I really want to know. Manage your emotions. Now, this may be something that's a little subtle, but sometimes if you feel like you're down, sometimes if you're really happy, sometimes if something really rotten happened in your day, it might come up in your communication. Like when you're talking with your boss, you could be communicating this negative emotion. Something really aggressive like, oh, how are you doing? I'm doing fine. And then your boss is like, whoa. So if you're not feeling well, it is important that you manage your emotions. Even if you're really excited, sometimes it's not appropriate. Try to just calm down, take a breather, and try to be as neutral as possible. Like, I'm doing okay. Have a little bit of things happening in my personal life, but I'm okay. That's better than faking it and letting your emotions out where it's obvious the way that you feel and you treat others in a poor way. And I had a great teacher in college that taught me about project management, and he said to the class that if you feel terrible and you just simply know that it's gonna come out, it's better to just simply say, hey guys, you know what? Something's happening in my life right now. I don't feel very well, so I'm just gonna, keep to myself for a little bit if that's okay with everybody. And just instead of just letting everybody have it because of that situation that you're having. That's gonna build rapport with your teammates, and they're gonna appreciate that you open up to them about your problem, and maybe they can even help you, or they can accommodate you in whatever way they can. Public speaking. Now, this does not mean get good at public speaking and then do it. It actually means just do it. Sometimes the best way to get good at something is simply to jump into the water and learn how to swim immediately. Of course, I don't recommend that in real life, but it's a metaphor. And it works with languages, for example. There's a great YouTuber called Benny Lewis that has been able to master I don't know how many languages, probably 20 by now, and he does it in a very interesting manner in which he will learn the basics of a language, maybe doing Duolingo, doing classes, intensive as much as possible, and then he'll go to a place where they speak that language and he'll start talking even if he doesn't know what he's saying or understanding anything. It's what he calls the caveman speak, with a terrible accent, probably not making sense, probably confusing everybody. And he says that doing this, he stays there for a month. He literally learns how to speak it. Why? Because his mind simply said, I absolutely need to survive, so I have to learn it. I have to understand what the sign says on the street. I have to understand how to talk to the cab driver. I absolutely need to know how to order food. So it's the same thing to become an effective communicator. You just simply do it. For example, me, I feel like I improve a little bit more every video that I make, and I feel more at ease the more that I do it. And even though it makes me uncomfortable to do like a public speaking, to speak for a bunch of people, etc., I try to get as many opportunities as I can because I know that I don't like it and I have to get better at it. So I go and I do it. Even if I was terrible, I can look at what I did terrible and I fix it for the next opportunity, and the next opportunity fix the other issues, and so on until you feel like you're very, very comfortable. So I'm actually looking forward to finding opportunities to do any type of public speaking. And I encourage you to find anything, maybe a topic that you like or something where you can share your experience, put yourself out there and show people about it. This will help you to hone your communication skills. One tip that I found from a great YouTuber called Antoine BM, he makes podcasts and just talks about topics that he knows about, and he knows that it will give value to somebody looking for this, and he just talks, listens to himself after, looks at all the things that he says, and maybe he can take out anything that's extra, the way that he enunciates, the way that his pitch is like. And even though he does YouTube videos, he gets better and better and better at it. So just find your venue and just find a way that you can constantly be talking to people about your ideas, so that way you can keep chiseling your communication skills. Nobody's born a good communicator. Every single one of them had to train and work at it so that you could get to that point. For example, me 5 years ago, you asked me to be in a YouTube video and I would say, absolutely not. I'm gonna hate that experience, but I just forced myself, and voila. And then for a bonus tip about the benefits of asking for feedback. Asking for help from others is one of the best ways to improve your communication, because people see things that you don't see about yourself. And if you trust the person and you think they have your best interest at heart, it is a good idea to ask them for tips on how to better the way that you're expressing yourself when you talk, and maybe nervous tics that you're doing when you're not nervous. Thank you so much for joining us for this video, and I hope that you learned a lot on how to improve your communication skills, and you're gonna go out there and practice from this moment on. So now it's your turn. I want to challenge you to go out there and use every one of these tips, and then come back to this video and then put a comment below on how these tips have improved your communication with others. Now, if you want to go further with me, then I've got a video on how to improve your personal brand that I'm gonna leave here in the description and on the top side here, where you're gonna learn how to improve yourself as your brand. So definitely check it out. Thank you for joining us. I hope you have an excellent day, and don't forget to like and subscribe. Share this with anybody that you think it will help, and looking forward to seeing you in the next video. Ciao, ciao.